Will everyone please rise for the entrance of our minister, Reverend Yamagishi? Thank you. You may be seated. So welcome everyone to our July 4th service. We have a really special show for you today. And some of you haven't been here for a while. That's great to see you. We're on Zoom and Facebook right now, whatever that is. And there are people I know by looking at my screen. There are people from California on and Colorado. And I don't know what Facebook Live is like. So, but that's great. And it's great to have some of you here. Today is our July 4th service. I hope you got a program. If not, I'll guide you through it. We're going to have a flag raising ceremony and lowering by Troop Number 1, thankfully, and also the new Dharma Band sing a couple songs. Just one other remark. This past week, the ex-husband of one of our members, Ms. Diane Sherrill, Mr. Burns, father of their 2 children, passed away, as did Ms. Violet Okitani. Our condolences to those families, and please feel free to reach out to them. Will everyone please rise for the bandana and tisarana? It's in page 7. So far, the rules of the Honoka'a, the Honganji statewide is that there's no group singing and chanting, so you can mouth it very quietly, and the Reverend will lead us in the bandana and tisarana in the service book on page 7.
가짜미 삼감사라남 가짜미 아이고 주다부다 포가이덴스 아이고 주다 다르마 포가이덴스 아이고 주다 삼가 포가이덴스 나모 아미다부츠 나모 아미다부츠 나모 아미다부츠 나만다 부츠 나만다 부츠 나만다 부츠 나만다 부츠 나만다 부츠 나만다 부츠 나만다
Thank you. You may be seated. Thank you, Reverend. And we're going to have a flags raising ceremony from Troop 1. Troop 1, we know from their participation in our Peace Day Parade many times and the baccalaureate service. I think they came to our pet memorial service, I believe. And some of the troop members, boys and girls, help us with our feeding program. And so they mentioned the idea of a flag raising ceremony. It's July 4th, so we're going to proceed with that. So you can all please proceed out to the driveway and near where the flagpole is, right? And thanks very much. See you out there.
Attention. Olgar, advance. Olgar, full colors. Olgar, regroup. Miles, face. Olgar, return. Olgar, halt. Olgar, dismiss.
Well, thanks everyone for paying attention. Thanks to troop number 1. They wanted to extend their apologies for the rope getting snagged and running that flag up 3/4. There is no meaning to the 3/4 standard there. We're going to have the new Dharma Band sing a song right now. This is a song written by a guy who urban legend has never sold any car he has ever owned. And he's pretty old. And yeah, and this song is about a car. But it's a metaphor, you know, right? So it's gotta be metaphor. And by the way, one very gross mistake, and I think it's a happy, sad mistake. I was getting choked up about Diane's husband passing away as well as someone else, and I misspoke. And the good news is Violet Okatani is still alive. Violet's son passed away. Violet's son, Alan, passed away on Oahu. But the reason I was getting choked up was because Mrs. Hayame Goma did pass away. Mrs. Goma lives right here near Blaine's, and she and her husband have been a member of this temple since forever. And so she passed away this week. Namo Minabits.
1, 2, not too fast. We've been through some things together, with trunks of memories still to come. We found things to do in stormy weather. Long may you run. Long may you run. Long may you run, although these changes have come. With your chrome heart shining in the sun, long may you run. Well, it was back in Blood River in 1962 when I last saw you alive. Oh, you missed that shift on that long decline. Long may you run. Long may you run. Long may you run, although these changes have come. With your chrome heart shining in the sun, long may you run. Maybe the Beach Boys have got you now, with those waves singing Caroline, Caroline, rolling down that empty ocean, getting to the surf on time. Long may you run, long may you run, although these changes have come. With your chrome heart shining in the sun, long may you run.
All right, thank you, New Dharma Band, and great audience. Okay, we'll now have sutra chanting by the Reverend. And this is not as much fun as usual because, again, you cannot join in except silently. Josh, could you get some of those red service books right there against the wall for the Boy Scout and the female Boy Scouts? This is on page 117 in that red service book that you have. And you can read along while the Reverend chants. You can remain seated. Page 117, 117. It's called Reaffirming the Vows. At this time, you can come forward and make your offering of incense. We have individual cups there so you don't have to get your hands dirty, and put them in the incense, if you would like to. It's optional. But unless my Buddha name resounds throughout the universe, may unattain Buddhahood, I will brother noble path, wisely, mindfully, free of greed, seek to read the supreme way, be a guide to one and all. May my power shine great light to illumine and dispel the darkness of three poisons and save all from suffering. With eyes of wisdom I look the darkness of ignorance. I will cross all every path, open gates of highest good. When now attained Buddhahood, light will shine throughout all lands, like brighter than sun and moon, outshining all heavenly light, giving my virtues to all, not forsaking anyone. I will proclaim the Dharma like the robe of great lion, bowing before all Buddhas, steadfastly gaining virtues, with wisdom fulfilling my vows. I shall be guide to all, like the wisdom of my teach. May wisdom also shine all throughout the universe,
and in me one and all. If I shall fulfill these vows, may all lands tremble with joy. From the heavens, wondrous applause rain down upon all the land.
Thank you, Reverend. Thank you, everyone who participated. Reverend Yamagishi will now present his Dharma message for the day.
Okay, first of all, please put your palms together in Gassho. All men tremble at punishment. All men love life. Remember that, throw out like unto them, and do not kill nor cause slaughter. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Okay, good morning, everyone. Aloha. Thank you for coming today. So, and good morning, all online attendees. Good morning. So, thank you for coming today and joining us. And thanks, Miles, for today's MC. And thank you, new Dharma Band members, for your wonderful and beautiful song. And thank you so much, all Boy and Girl Scout members, for flag ceremony. And nice to meet you. I am Reverend Yamagishi from Japan. I am a new minister of Honoka'a Hongaji Mission. So today is the July Family Sunday service, and also today is Independence Day. So I appreciate the flag raising ceremony earlier in that service. It is so wonderful. So Boy and Girl Scout activities are always wonderful for me. So their activities symbolize justice, equality, freedom, and peace. So especially today is Independence Day. We hope for all peace around the world. And let me talk about my story in California and Japan. When I was in California 2 years ago, I went to watch the baseball game with some Boy Scouts members only one time. So that game was Major League Baseball spring training game. It was so exciting. So it was first time for me to watch the Major League Baseball game at the baseball stadium. However, to be honest, I had one other chance to watch a Major League Baseball game at the stadium. 18 years ago, in 2003, there was a Major League Baseball season opening game held in Tokyo, Japan. The game was between the Seattle Mariners and the Oakland Athletics. The date was March 25th, 2003. So I am a fan of the Japanese baseball player, Ichiro Suzuki. Do you know Ichiro Suzuki? Thank you. Well, he retired 2 years ago, but even now, I am a fan of him. So when I knew the news that the Seattle Mariners game would be held in Tokyo, I really wanted to go to watch the game. I tried to get a ticket for the game with my friend. I was able to get a ticket a few weeks before the date of the game. My friend and I were very excited because our seats were good ones to see the game closely behind the backstop of the stadium. As soon as our ticket arrived, I got our tickets for the bus trip for Tokyo. We had to leave for Tokyo on the day of the game, so everything seemed to work well. However, surprisingly, the Major League Baseball season opening game in Tokyo was suddenly canceled a few days before the date of the game. What do you think happened? The Major League Baseball game was supposed to be held on March 25th, 2003. One tragedy happened on March 20th, 2003. The US Army attacked the Middle East country of Iraq, and the Iraq War began from that day. Therefore, the Major League Baseball game in Tokyo was suddenly canceled because of the threat of the war. According to the news, all the baseball players did not want to leave their families and their countries. I knew their feeling well, but we were really disappointed by the sudden cancellation. My friend and I were depressed. I thought many other people were depressed too. So I never hated either of those two countries, but I hate to see a war in this world. War is really cruel and nobody really wins. The number of people who are injured and hurt by war, either directly or indirectly, is uncountable in this world. It seems the only thing left after the suffering of the war is the hatred among the people. The mind of hatred really disappears around the world. Eventually, the old hatred occurs as another new hatred in the future. Once we get into this vicious cycle, it will be the same thing over and over again. When the Second World War ended, every victim's country demanded reparation to the defeated country of Japan. However, one Asian country of Ceylon, which named Sri Lanka today, abandoned all the right of demands for reparation to Japan. At the San Francisco Peace Treaty in 1951, Mr. J. Wandin, who is a Minister of Foreign Affairs in Ceylon, gave his speech to abandon their claims for reparation by citing the words of Shakyamuni Buddha. The words of Shakyamuni Buddha are the following. For hatred does not cease by hatred at any time. Hatred ceases by love. This is an old rule. Among the many people in history, I believe the person who really understood Shakyamuni Buddha's words was Honen Shonin's father. Honen is one of the 7 masters of Shin Buddhism. So, Honen Shonin is the teacher of our founder, Shinran Shonin. Honen's father worked at an executive position in the government. When Honen Shonin was young, one assassin attacked Honen's father and attempted to murder him. Honen's father was deeply injured by the attack. Young Honen cried a lot beside his dying father. Honen, in his anger, promised to take revenge for the attack on his father. However, Honen's father reminded him of the following words. Do not take revenge on the man who attacked me. If you take revenge and kill that man, then his son will want to take revenge and will someday kill your son. And the killing will go on endlessly for generations. The only way to stop such senseless violence is to become a Buddhist monk. Find a way to save both me and my attacker. Honen Shonin followed his father's words and became a Buddhist priest for his father. Honen learned a lot in his priesthood. He encountered the teaching of Nembutsu and shared the truth of Amida Buddha and the Dharma with a lot of people, including Shinran Shonin. So Shinran Shonin, after meeting Honen Shonin, his life changed and the way of the Nembutsu throughout his life. If Honen's father didn't leave his words of not taking revenge to his son, Honen Shonin would not have become a Buddhist priest. If Honen Shonin didn't encounter the teaching of Nembutsu and share it with Shinran Shonin, we would not encounter Amida Buddha and the teaching of Nembutsu. However, we are receiving the teaching of Nembutsu here and now. I think this is the result of our ancestors' effort to follow Amida Buddha, Shakyamuni Buddha, Honen Shonin, and Shinran Shonin. So let me introduce some excellent words of the 24th generation Gomonshu-sama, Koshin Otani, and conclude with the Nembutsu Namo Amida Butsu. When hate is not avenged by hate, peace prevails. When we examine its history, Buddhism cannot be said to be completely unrelated to war. While this fact is one I deeply regret, as I learn anew to take responsibility for the past, I feel even more compelled to make an earnest wish for peace in this world. Shakyamuni said that all men tremble at punishment. All men love life. Remember that thou art like unto them, and do not kill, nor cause slaughter. However, outstanding the reason, there is simply no justification for taking the life of another. Another's way of life or way of thinking may be fundamentally different than your own. But that is no reason to take a life. Life is precious. We are the recipients of the immeasurable compassion of Amida Buddha, who will not rest until all living things are saved. If people are being crushed by sadness and suffering, I will take my place alongside them and live with them, our hearts beating each second as one. This is the Buddha's wish. So today is Independence Day. I think this is a good opportunity. Think about peace, justice, equality, and love for everyone around the world. Thank you for listening to my Dharma talk. So let's conclude with the Nembutsu, Namo Amida Butsu. So please put your palms together in Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu. Thank you so much. Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu.
Thank you, Reverend. The new Dharma Band will sing their second song. So let's get them together. Because I'm very forgetful, whenever I think of saying thank you, I try to do it right away. And a lot of this internet, Zoom, Facebook magic is possible because of Matt and Rachel Sturry. They're our usual tech assistants here on Sunday, but they're in California now. But nevertheless, we're glad to have them on board because they are actually controlling this Zoom broadcast from California with the assistance of Kylie and Josh. Oh, this song is a Grateful Dead song. And it is by far and away their most Buddhistic song. Yeah.
between the dawn and the dark of night. If you go, no one may follow that path is for your steps alone. Still water when there is no camel tops, no wind drives you choose to lead must follow, but if you fall, you fall alone. If you should stand, then who's to guide you? If I knew the way, I would take you home. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na na na
Thank you, New Dharma Band. That was pretty darn good. And you didn't sing too loudly. That's great, people. We'll now move to the Golden Chain of Love. And you can recite that silently while you're standing, please. It's on page 126, page 126. This is a Sunday school favorite. All the grown-ups should have it memorized, but getting old, I think. Page 126, the Golden Chain of Love.
Oh, yeah, I will do.
Reverend and I will read it together. I am a link in Amida Buddha's golden chain of love that stretches around the world. I must keep my link bright and strong. I will try to be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all who are weaker than myself. I will try to think pure and beautiful thoughts, to say pure and beautiful words, and to do pure and beautiful deeds, knowing that on what I do now depends not only my happiness or unhappiness, but also that of others. May every link in Amida's golden chain of love be bright and strong, and may we all attain perfect peace. Everyone, please remain standing, and Reverend will lead us in the singing of the Nembutsu, which is on page 135. 135, Reverend will lead us, and we'll sing silently. Thank you, Reverend. We'll now have the flag lowering ceremony by troop number 1, so we can all proceed outside for that.
Attention. Color guard, advance. Now face. Move up third.
Thank you, everyone. And this concludes our service, except for whatever closing remarks I can think of. Thank you again to Matt and Rachel, long distance in California, helping us out. Josh and Kylie, our techies on site here. The new Dharma Band, too numerous to be named. But the troop number 1, I'll use the word troop number 1 as opposed to Boy Scouts. Troop number 1 includes Logan, who was leading them, the tall young man, Connor, Aria, our female scout, and Nick. Nick is here every Friday for the last year and a half, helping with the feeding program, running the meals. I think Nick has brought up about 15,000 dinners. I think so. Was that 50 times 300? Yeah. About 15,000 dinners on Friday. So I love those big numbers. So anyway, thanks those of you for coming. I see Beverly there. I know Jeannie was here, and some people are on Facebook Live too. And I apologize for the people long distance because you probably couldn't hear the music well because of a particular technical snafu on my part. Matt and I worked really hard on it, but I'll explain it later to the crew. But anyway, thanks everyone for attending long distance as well as here. Thanks everybody. Now, Mommy,